A long-term goal of Vladimir Putin's Russia is to divide countries and break up alliances that stand in the way of it becoming a world power. They view elections as a weak point in democracies and manipulate them to their advantage. Their tactic is to use referendums and politicians they control to force other countries to withdraw from alliances. When viewed separately, each example seems unique and done for different reasons. But when viewed together, patterns emerge. The following are a few examples. In June 2016, UK voters passed the Brexit referendum that will result in the UK leaving the European Union. Aaron Banks was the co-founder and major funder of this referendum. Leading up to the vote, Banks had as many as 11 undisclosed meetings with Russian officials, and during the same period took an unpublicized trip to Moscow. Reports also show that he was offered a business deal involving 6 Russian gold mines. Nigel Farage was the public face of the referendum. Farage has been in frequent contact with Russian asset and WikiLeaks frontman Julian Assange. He developed a relationship with Trump and is now a person of interest in the FBI's investigation into Russian election interference. In 2017, the Spanish state of Catalonia held a referendum on seceding from Spain. Spain's defense and foreign ministers announced they had evidence that the Russian state was encouraging Catalans to leave Spain. Independent research has shown that Russian assets Edward Snowden and Julian Assange both pushed for Catalonian independence. Currently, U.S. citizens are divided as to the real relationship between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. What is not in dispute are the actions Trump has taken that further Putin's goals. In January 2017, Trump withdrew the U.S. from the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP. TPP is a trade agreement of 12 nations and includes several Asian countries, but notably does not include China. TPP would have reduced its members' reliance on China and would have brought those nations closer to the U.S. In July 2017, Trump withdrew the U.S. from the Paris Climate Agreement. The agreement is a global plan to reduce CO2 emissions and has been signed by 194 nations. Each country sets its own targets, and there are no penalties if targets are not achieved. The U.S. is isolated as one of the few nations not a part of the agreement. On numerous occasions, Trump has claimed that other members of the NATO military alliance are not sufficiently contributing and has implied that the U.S. may pull out of the alliance. NATO was created after World War II and since then has provided a shared defense for the U.S. and Europe. Dismantling NATO has been a major Russian goal for decades. During a recent conference, Trump spoke privately with French President Emmanuel Macron. Trump suggested that France should leave the European Union because France could get a better deal with the U.S. if it negotiated on its own. In June 2018, reports surfaced that Trump was planning to pull the U.S. out of the World Trade Organization. The WTO is the largest economic organization in the world with 164 member states. Withdrawing from the organization would significantly isolate the U.S. and cause substantial economic harm to the country. Yes, California is a political action committee that pushed for California to leave the United States. The campaign, popularly known as CalExit, was led by Luis Marinelli. Marinelli has spent most of his adult life in Russia and currently lives there. Marinelli received support from Russia in the form of press coverage, free offices, and financial support. The Three Californias initiative will be included on the 2018 state ballot, and if passed, would split California into 3 separate states. The initiative is led by venture capitalist Tim Draper. Draper is the founding partner of investment fund DFJ. In 2007, DFJ entered into a partnership with Russian state-controlled bank VTB and since then Draper has attended numerous conferences in Russia. In addition, Draper hired Nigel Farage of Brexit fame to work on making Three Californias a similar success. When viewed together, these examples paint a clear picture of Putin attempting in numerous ways to tear democracies and their alliances apart. Putin identifies existing divisions and then seeks to widen them by controlling influential leaders and by leveraging tools like Facebook to organize and spread divisive propaganda. Citizens must educate themselves to this threat and push back against these attacks. Join us in defending America and democracies everywhere.